Greetings and good fortune, my darkly devoted. James Golden here, storyteller, author, lore keeper, and now, these days, YouTube social media personality. Times they do be a-changin', and to no creature is that more apparent than the beings of flesh and metal born from scientific advancement, the unfleshed. Though we have covered the core lineages, let us now stray from that path and delve deep into created myth. The divine fire always finds a way, and sometimes artificial life is the result. Power on, plug in, and get ready for a different kind of download. This is Blacklist Redacted. Let's get into it. Unfleshed. They possess no humor, nor a defining element. I am here. The creation of the Unfleshed is an odd phenomenon. They are not a lineage per se, they are alchemical beings apart from Prometheans, but related enough through the divine fire to possess both disquiet and torment. For each of the Unfleshed, the divine fire passes to them in a mad dash of inspiration, culled into being by the obsession of a mortal Demiurge. In essence, each Unfleshed is the first of their kind, a new lineage, if you will, a new type of Promethean. But even that requires some explanation. What are the Unfleshed? How does one come to exist? An immortal Demiurge in modern times? Let's start there, as that is where the story of every Unfleshed truly begins. The Demiurge of one of the Unfleshed is a rare, driven soul whose knowledge and skill tread deep into the wilds of obsession. This unique scientist must not only be someone who works with the creation of artificial life forms, but one who does so with the intention of mimicking human life. The creation alone of an advanced artificial intelligence, a humanoid military weapon, or a hypertech robot is not enough to channel the divine fire. There must be more. A need that drives, inspiration so bold and ambitious, it eats at the mind like madness. Many creators experience large lapses in time, skewed perception where they have no memory of working, only progress to show for it. We have to understand that the divine fire is relentless and in many ways cruel. While no one can say with certainty whether it only finds those with immense imagination and drive or if it feeds those qualities into the worthy, in the process of becoming a demiurge, a creator becomes maniacally obsessed. Consumed entirely, the creator no longer talks about their project, they act, taking hours, days, weeks, or even years to create this perfect vessel. What might have once been a group project or a military-funded operation becomes a strained and solitary work. Their relationships spoil, their loved ones are forgotten, their pets and plants go unnoticed, but eventually the work is done. There's nothing left but horrible stillness, the moment of truth. Filled with a sickening combination of wonder and horror at their own inability to stop, the creator brings the vessel to life. The method differs. Sometimes it's the initialization of a program or the flipping of a switch that sends a surge of nanotechnology into the shell. Others, it's a simple press of a button, the last step before ignition. Then the divine fire transfers, passing from creator to created, leaving the demiurge exhausted and fearful. The creation might surge to life in a brilliant display or awaken so subtly that it almost seems as if nothing happened. Whether awareness comes all at once or gradually, the newly made Unfleshed lives, and the demiurge is left a hollow shell of their former selves. As the divine fire infuses the mechanical body of the construct, it becomes more human-like. The transformative flame refines the vessel, adding precise limbs and facial structure and carving away unnecessary aspects such as charging ports and excess panels. Blocky or crude bodies are made smooth, with organic lines befitting of a human. Excess limbs are absorbed, while those that remain evolve into human arms and legs, complete with fingers and toes where none existed before. Complex facial features develop on the head, while the body internally evolves, developing gender and genitalia. Everything needed to one day transition from the incomplete vessel into the destination human. The divine fire is an explosion of awareness to the new being. Understanding and the crude beginnings of a soul burn their way into the mechanical body, and while most unfleshed exult in their newfound sentience, many are left feeling immediately hollow, knowing instinctively that they are unfinished. Sometimes, however, an unfleshed wakes seething with anger and resentment that gradually gives way to despair, thwarting the pilgrimage entirely. Others find it difficult to foster the drive to walk the pilgrimage in the first place, while an unfortunate few ignore the call completely, or have had the motivation beaten out of them by abusive creators and early disquiet encounters. The sordid truth of the unfleshed is that they have a hard time adhering to the call to become human. Some believe the pilgrimage a long, scenic road where they must understand what they are before becoming something more, while others find the whole ordeal too much to contemplate. They literally and figuratively shut down. The relationship to humanity often starts with the Demiurge, their only connection to the world of flesh and blood, and for many, that relationship can make or break their starting spirit. Unfleshed, created by others of their kind, are incredibly rare to mythical, the stuff of fireside pilgrim tales and what-if legends. For starters, the gathering of corpse parts is far easier than the construction of an unfleshed vessel. Though there are workarounds, perhaps the unfleshed can find a partner willing to build such a body, or maybe they stumbled upon prototypes of themselves, unfinished vessels that could cut the work time in half. For, like the Promethean, the unfleshed is a type of created, and there is curiosity and loneliness to contend with on the long years of life. Unlike the Promethean, the unfleshed is not required to pass on some of their spark in order to attain the new dawn. Their road is difficult enough as it is. An unfleshed created by a Demiurge is technically the first of a new lineage, and should they choose to create progeny during the great work, they would become the progenitor of the line. Any unfleshed born from such creation would possess the same disquiet and torment as their progenitor, as well as the same bestowments. But what disquiet and torment do the unfleshed suffer from if they are the first of their own lineage? The answer to such questions actually takes us above the table for a moment, so join me. Storytellers, GMs, if you are watching this, you can probably already tell that the unfleshed represent an optional aspect to a Promethean game. Hyper advanced technology in the world of darkness, sure, but there is another aspect as well. Most unfleshed characters do not possess the benefit of lengthy lore, of tales of those who came before, of legendary progenitors and ancient wisdom to draw upon. This then puts a great deal of responsibility on both the player and the storyteller to define who and what this new unfleshed is, what they stand for, where they come from, why they walk the pilgrimage, what events define them and provide inspiration for them. There's a tremendous amount of choice, requiring some understanding of Promethean the created gameplay, just period, in order to accurately select unfleshed features and traits. And there is a lot of selection. All right, back to it. When making one of the unfleshed, each step reflects bits of the machine's original purpose and aspects of their awakened mind. Unlike the Prometheans, the unfleshed were often created for purposes other than the generation of new life. When the divine fire passed into a Demiurge and onto the created, that new being came to life and sought humanity, but not before. That's important to keep in mind when selecting unfleshed features, as many of them reflect the entity's original design. Their attributes, skills, and specialties often return to the source as well, as machines are usually crafted for either calculations and computing or physical endeavors, leading to the selection of mental and physical attributes as their primary and secondary categories. Within the unfleshed, their Azoth blooms, granting access to transmutations that literally change the one who wields them. The Pyros works with what materials it has on hand. For the Prometheans, this is flesh, bone, blood, sinew. For the Unfleshed, however, the Pyros works the systems already present in the body, whether electronic, nanotech, or steam-powered engines. These transformative powers work within the Unfleshed body uniquely, augmenting musculature and joint servos, redirecting internal energy to speed-enhancing technology, activating camouflage programs, or even generating powerful holograms, and many more wondrous and visually horrifying changes. These changes ground the Unfleshed in the grim reality that they are not human. Still, as Azothic beings, they enjoy all the innate benefits of Promethean existence and then some, such as the ability to eat and drink any non-organic material they can chew and swallow, as well as complete immunity to natural poisons and diseases. They can even spend a point of Pyros to ignore supernatural ones, though a poison or disease specifically created to harm machinery or the Unfleshed could still be an issue. But just like the Promethean, their Azothic nature leaks into reality, spoiling the land and churning the negative thoughts of mortals. Like their created cousins, the Unfleshed exude disquiet and suffer from torment. But unlike Prometheans, they do not have the benefit of a lineage to turn to for wisdom and understanding. The player is encouraged to choose one of the disquiet symptoms for normal Prometheans based on the way in which humans react to the character. In their early days of waking, disquiet infects everyone around them, including their Demiurge creator. The young Unfleshed is often characterized by their early interactions with mortals and begins to view the world accordingly. One who shares the disquiet of the wretched Frankensteins may see mortals as petty, shallow creatures that often destroy the things that they fear, while one who shares the earthen disquiet of the Tammuz golems recognize that they were created to serve a purpose, and as mortals sense that, the urge to force the Unfleshed back into that role of purpose and service grows more and more aggressive. Galatade and Osiren disquiet make plenty of sense in the Unfleshed, as one plays upon the insecurities of mortals, producing effects of low self-esteem and intense self-loathing, while the other withers away their facade of reason, reducing mortals to the reactionary, panicky animals they absolutely can be. Olgan disquiet, that of the Riven, of spiritual decay that can make mortals intensely disassociate, becoming mindless, task-oriented drones. Well, they're rare, but not impossible. Torment, likewise, flares in the Unfleshed just as it does with Prometheans, manifesting in similar ways as those of the established created lineages. Like disquiet, torment is determined by the player, reflecting the outlook of the Unfleshed. Interestingly, the torment an Unfleshed suffers from does not often come from the same lineage as their disquiet. While one Unfleshed may suffer from Tammuz torment and Frankenstein disquiet, another is exactly in first, and so on and so forth. Whether wretched torment fostering hellbent revenge, or Napri torment, where one abandons all emotional capability for cold-blooded logic, they are stricken in the same manner as Prometheans, overwhelmed and locked into this state until their Azoth cools and their default personality returns. Just as Prometheans, the Unfleshed appear human to those around them, except when the Pyro shows their true nature and disfigurements are revealed. Before that, they seem relatively normal to mortals and most supernatural creatures, although somewhat odd. Their faces often seem strange and a little too perfect, with calculated, precise smiles and eyes that glint with inorganic hues. Many possess quirky personalities. Some are explosive, aggressive slaves to their emotions, while others feel emotions deeply, but struggle to express them in the ways that humans do. Many Unfleshed struggle with empathy, whether a lack thereof or far too much, and throughout the course of their pilgrimage, they will refine from odd and naive to one who is more capable of pursuing the greatest of works, mortality. The final transformation of one of the Unfleshed is nothing short of a miracle. The transubstantiation of divine fire into soul is paired with the alchemical transmutation of steel, plastic, and mechanical fluids into flesh, bone, and blood. In the crucible of the pilgrimage, the machine is broken down by pain and suffering, rebuilt by understanding and empathy, emerging as a mortal. To become human, however, is more difficult for the Unfleshed than it is for a Promethean. They simply have more to accomplish, whereas Prometheans, being already made of flesh and bone, have something of a head start. The Unfleshed have more to learn before they can begin to understand humanity as a whole. Simple things like weather or extreme temperatures and their effects on mortals, the delicacy of the mortal body compared to the unfleshed frame, the creativity mortals employ to overcome such conditions. These are all brand new mysteries to explore and unravel. Understanding the place of machinery and technology can often be reassuring to the Unfleshed. By learning the role technology plays in our history and evolution, how it extended the reach, capabilities, and presence of humans, helps to illuminate that machinery is a very real and important part of the human experience. On the pilgrimage, the Unfleshed practice the same refinements as their Promethean cousins, the only difference being their approach to the lessons. There's more to understanding the human condition in Aurum for the Unfleshed, as they are not housed in a mortal body with organs that fulfill nearly the same function as they do for humans. The same can be said with the study of Pharaoh. Strengthening the body for the hardships ahead requires an understanding of the ease with which humans are injured, and the study of the body to better prepare it for pain. When it comes to virtues and vices, personal preference and background experience play a vital role. Is the character one with tremendous fortitude, willing to tread the long roads of learning needed to reach the new dawn? Or perhaps they are hopeful, there to stop others from descending into despair, for if the Unfleshed can see the light at the end of the tunnel, anyone can. Their vices are often determined by reactions to their early experiences. Were they backed into a corner by volatile soldiers, forced to defend their very existence with pride and wrath, or did they hide and watch the mortal world from afar, developing steadfast envy for a civilization they longed to be a part of? These decisions pave the outlook of the Unfleshed, marking their personality for the pilgrimage ahead. And thus, we have come to know what happens when the divine fire animates that which has never known life and has never been alive. The Unfleshed are the cousins of Promethean kind, imbued with tremendous power and ability, but also unending customization, the better to adapt and learn about the world they endeavor to join. Theirs is a hard life, an uphill battle of understanding and adaptation that many give up on. But for those who possess the will and support to see the pilgrimage through, the new dawn is their mythical reward, and they will have their day in the sun. Thank you for joining me here on Blacklist Redacted. It has been my pleasure thus far to spotlight the Azopic wonders of the world of darkness. But what if I told you there was one more type of lineage, a Promethean myth so diabolical and destructive you'd almost wish it wasn't real? Join me next time as we examine the divine fire in its most explosive embodiment, the Children of the Bomb, the final lineage of 1st edition Promethean, the Zika. Until then, hold fast to your humanity, cherish your loved ones, and please, do not bring your hypertech dolls to life. The idea may sound good in the moment, but please remember the reality. Bright may be the day, but sanguine is the night.